G'day everyone, how are you? Right, this is more of a promotional video actually. A friend of mine has been working on a submission and documents for the last couple of years on basically the injustices going on with the JCC. Turns out the JCC, nowhere in the JCC Act does it say anywhere about disciplining judges. The JCC Act is written solely for the removal of a judge. It doesn't have anything to do with disciplining judges. Perhaps that's why over 3,221 complaints now over the last 15 years have not seen one judge disciplined. Do you think? Now, my friend's done this document that's going to be passed on to the Complaints Procedure Unit at the Human Rights Council of the United Nations in Geneva. What she's done is gone to change.org and posted a petition. In the last 36 hours, it's got almost 300 signatures already. Clearly there's been a lot of people shafted by the Judicial Conduct Commissioner over the time that it's existed. I mean, they got rid of the Privy Council and now they've put this little gatekeeper. Something to note, the JCC is an independent statutory authority, which means it does not have to abide by any Official Information Act request. It is separate from having to listen to any request like that at all, and it has no alternative procedure for you to find out information. There is absolutely no transparency short of their report that they release every year, where they tell you and skewer figures and all the rest of it and bullshit you. I'm going to read you out the first couple of pages of this this document. It's 30 pages long. I'm going to put a link to the petition in the description of this video, also a link to NZ Justice 111 who's sorting all of this out. Again, an amazing person. Has put her heart and soul into this, and I totally support it. Everybody out there that's having problems with the judiciary, the family court, district court, criminal court, you know, High Court, Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, we're paying judges over $110 million a year. Are you getting justice? Is it worth it? I mean, I put a poll out there on my channel. 89% of people that placed their vote do not have trust and confidence in New Zealand's judiciary. What does that say? Anyway, I'll read this on. And again, don't forget to go and sign the petition and go and show some love and tell old NZ Justice 111 I sent you around there. Alright, so it starts off with, Dear Sir or Madam, this communication urgently brings to this Honourable Council's attention a very disturbing and concerning pattern that has developed in New Zealand over the past 16 years. This communication is supported by 1. Inherent reliable evidential material, and 2. A petition signed by New Zealand citizens to support this communication to this Honourable Council. 3. This document focuses on State Party New Zealand historical and continuing breaches of, but certainly not limited to, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 2, number 3b, and Article 17, numbers 1 and 2. Linked to aforesaid international covenant of its articles or rules. Now, all of the links are throughout this document. If you see a word on these pages with a number next to it, it's just giving you a link to the footnote. And if you go to the bottom of each of those pages, you'll find the relating number. Just click on the link, and that'll take you to the originating document that's backing up all of this. So, really has done an amazing job. The Special Rapporteur expressed surprise and concern over the fact that there is no procedure in New Zealand to discipline judges for such misconduct. Mere expression of regret by the judge concerned may not help to command respect for the independence of the judiciary. Legislation providing for disciplinary procedures to deal with complaints against judges with adequate safeguards as provided in Principles 17 through to 20 of the Principles on Independence of the Judiciary is not inconsistent with judicial independence. State Party New Zealand, as it appears, answers the above concerns raised by an Honourable UN Committee by bringing into law on the 19th of May 2004 the Judicial Conduct Commissioner and Judicial Conduct Panel Act 2004. By virtue of Section 4 of the JCC Act, its purpose is to enhance public confidence and to protect the impartiality and integrity of the judicial system by a. providing a robust investigation process to enable informed decisions to be made about the removal of judges from office. I'll repeat that, removal of judges, not about discipline. B. Establishing an office for the receipt and assessment of complaints about the conduct of judges. C. Providing a fair process that recognises and protects the requirements of judicial independence and natural justice, which it doesn't do. 8. It is respectfully drawn to this Honourable Council's attention the fact that JCC Act is completely absent within its commentary wording to do with procedures regarding the disciplining of New Zealand judges. It is a fact that nowhere within the JCC Act does it record the word discipline when referring to state party judges. It is respectfully said to this Honourable Council that it seems remarkable that after 21 years from when an Honourable United Nations Committee first expressed surprise and concern to a state party, New Zealand, regarding having no procedure in place to discipline its judges, that said state party still has no legislation in place that focuses on the disciplining of state party judges. The only procedure State Party New Zealand has introduced since 2000, 21 years ago, are procedures that focus solely on the removal of a judge, which has, as at date of this communication, never occurred in New Zealand. 10. The serious consequences regarding this highly questionable aforesaid omission by State Party New Zealand, re the JCC Act, is particularised hereinafter. 1. On the 1st of August 2005, the Office of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner opened its doors to the public of New Zealand so they may file complaints against judges. Recorded below is a very simplified diagram of how the Office of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner works. And there's a very simple diagram there for you. Alright? Respectfully, there is no need to go any further with the above diagram, as there have only been 2 instances from where the Office of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner opened on the 1st of August 2005 up to date of this communication, a 16-year period, where the Judicial Conduct Commissioner has recommended to the Attorney General of New Zealand that a Judicial Conduct Panel be appointed to determine the outcome of a complaint made against a New Zealand state judge. The first instance of the aforesaid recommendation occurred in 2010, where 3 complaints were made against the same judge, Mr. William Wilson, the Bill Wilson affair. And even then, a hearing before the Judicial Conduct Panel did not go ahead. A full explanation as to the reasons why a Judicial Panel hearing did not go ahead is detailed in paragraphs 81 through to 102b of this communication. 14. The second instance occurred in 2020, when, however, the recommendation was short-lived as the complaint in question was dealt with by a head of bench, a judge. Further details on this matter can be found at paragraphs 31 to 33 of this communication. 15. As said at the beginning of this communication, a very disturbing and concerning pattern has developed in New Zealand since the Office of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner opened on the 1st of August 2005, opens its doors to receive complaints from the New Zealand public against state judges. 16. The figures below have been taken from the annual reports published each year by the Judicial Conduct Commissioner. 17. From the 1st of August 2005 to the 31st of July 2006, so in other words we'll just call that the year of 2005, there were 106 complaints made against judges, Not one complaint resulted in the formal disciplining of a judge, let alone the removal of a judge. From the 1st of August 2006 through the 31st of July 2007, so year of 2006, there were 92 complaints made by judges. Not one complaint resulted in formal disciplining of a judge, let alone the removal of a judge. In the year of 2007, there were 101 complaints. Guess what? Yep, not one complaint resulted in formal disciplining of a judge, let alone the removal. In the year ending 2008, there were 139 complaints made against judges, and you guessed it, not one complaint, no removals, no nada. In the year of 2009, there were 223 complaints. Jesus! Not one complaint was upheld. Nothing resulted in nothing, as per normal. In the year of 2010, there were 181 complaints. Good chunky year, that one. Let alone, you guessed it, nothing happened to any of them. In the year of 2011, 328 complaints made against judges. Not one complaint was resulted in the formal disciplining or removal of a judge. The year of 2012, there were 258 complaints. I'm sure you're getting the picture here. Yep, nada. 2013, 235 complaints. You guessed it, nothing. 2014 year, 313 complaints. Gosh, they had a bumpy year that year. All right, that works out at, say, 52 weeks. That's 6 complaints every week about a judge. That's one complaint daily. Not one judge disciplined or removed. In the year of 2015, there were 355 complaints made against judges. No complaints upheld, no removals, no disciplining. 2016, 314 complaints. 2017, 223 complaints. 2018, 191 complaints. 2019, 162 complaints. Perhaps that's 2020, through to the year 2020, July. No complaints upheld at all. All right? So during this period, the Judicial Conduct Commissioner recommended to the Attorney General that one complaint made against a District Court judge be dealt with by a Judicial Conduct panel. The Attorney General took no action as he was satisfied that the steps had already been taken by the judge's head of bench, Chief District Court Judge Hemi Taumawanu. The outcome of this complaint was that the judge in question accepted responsibility. In other words, he got a slap on the hand and agreed to step down for a period so they may receive further training. Really? Judges on benches shouldn't require training. They should have all that shit sorted before they're sitting down there deciding people's lives. Disgusting. It is respectfully said to this Honourable Council that the above substantially appears to fall far short of what would be considered by most as a formal discipline. So they're not even formally disciplined. It is respectfully noted to this Honourable Council that the conduct of the judge in question was minuscule in comparison to the conduct of other judges complained about, which are particularised in paragraphs 69 to 72 of this communication. In the latest annual report of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner ending 31st of July 2020, there are 33 unfinalised complaints from the previous year. To summarise the above, from the 1st of August 2005, as at the date of this communication, 3,221 complaints have been made against judges by members of New Zealand public during the 16-year period of the Office of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner has been in operation. As at the date of this communication, 100% of complaints, all 3,221 of them, made against New Zealand judges have failed to see any judge at the very least formally disciplined, let alone removed. This record must surely be unprecedented when applying the math. The above information is not surprising when the state party, as it substantially appears, has ensured the jurisdiction of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner is simply empty, which is dead right. That is to say, Section 8.2 of the JCC Act reads, "It is not a function of the Commissioner to challenge or call into question the legality or correctness of any instruction, direction, order, judgment, or other decision given or made by a judge in relation to any legal proceedings." So what's the fucking point of them then? State Party in New Zealand has also ensured Section 15A and 16 of the JCC Act are valuable backstops should the above section need legal support. As for the complaints referred by the Judicial Conduct Commissioner to head judges of each court, the outcome is and remains the same: no judge formally disciplined. This again is no surprise when State Party New Zealand has unduly omitted all commentary within the JCC Act regarding laws to do with formal disciplining of a judge, and what would expressly identify under the law but not limited to what constitutes it. Right, that's the first 6 pages. You guys can go and read the rest, but it blows you away. And there's a special little part in there about young Andrew Little. I don't think he's going to like it much. Now, this has already been released on change.org. We could have put the petition up on the Beehive, but we all know who the fuck goes to the Beehive to look at petitions? You know, there's little to no trust to putting a petition into the government when you know they're the fuckers you're complaining about in the first place. Really? Anyway, guys, I highly suggest everybody, please, for the love of God, if you want some change in this country with the judiciary, which just runs shot and does whatever the fuck it likes, yeah, do something about it. Get it changed. You know, they don't seem to realise they've shit on so many of the little people that they're going to get to critical mass soon. Then what are they going to do? You know, freedom of speech is already getting hammered. And in New Zealand, you know, they're just trying to put in new legislation coming up very, very, very soon, if not just last week, where they're trying to allow judges to make takedown orders. Because if they go and make a complaint through, say, YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is, and YouTube and Facebook don't have a problem with it because it breaches no policy and it breaches no law, well, what do? They still want to be able to control free speech, so they now are saying they can make a takedown order for any so-called objectionable material, and they've left that wide open. So anything can be objectionable. Depends on the eye of the beholder, doesn't it? Anyway, these things are happening. There's a lot more things under, sort of say, under the covers that I'm not going to put out just yet, but I do have a lot of videos to get out there and put up soon. Thank you everybody for your support. It's really, really awesome. Yeah, sorry for saying so much. Have a good day. See you guys. Bye now.